have a full house. They don't have it very often. You know what I mean? Some people just never show up and shit. Like, sit your podcast down. Full crew today. We have G in the building. All right, you see G today. What's up?
What up?
Reeks in the
On
building.
camera. That's rare.
Yeah, I'm here.
Audrey is in the lair right over there. I love it. Love it.
I am. Hello.
And then we fly here as well. So we're gonna get to this. You were just saying something off camera, and I thought it was hilarious. Talking about LeBron James, 40,000 points, man. So that makes him the GOAT.
I mean, 40,000 points. What you think?
I think the point after Kareem, all this shit was just extra.
Right.
Because the point after was the first anybody did that. So literally about 2,000 points later, each and every game he had was a new record.
Remember
and again, the pageantry of this LeBron James is lovely. Love it.
Hey guys, I'm here.
Where was the party for 39,000?
39 and a half. I'm just saying, like
it's like he's great. We're not saying he's not great, but like, why are you doing weird stuff now?
Do
you think it was him, or do you think he pushed him to do this? Or do you think ESPN and the powers that be just said, fuck it, we're gonna just celebrate this number because it got to a whole number? Like, what do y'all think?
I think it's a big deal to him.
ESPN discussion with Tariq.
I think this is a big deal to him because of the way he reacted when it happened.
And he lost.
I don't want to talk about the fact that they lost. That was to me that's the funniest thing. Like he'll add these accolades, he'll climb these lists, and are they meaningless stats, or are they cementing his GOAT status as like he has to be above LeBron though? I mean, or above Jordan now. Are we saying that? Is anybody saying that besides the guys that already want to say he's better?
The people that don't believe he's a GOAT, getting 40,000 points is not going to change their mind. Like, it's just because the thing is like one thing I noticed, like, you look at people that know basketball players, coaches, like it's not a lot of people that put LeBron as the GOAT. And it's like, you get a lot of his fan base is like little kids, casuals. You know what I mean?
Not kids and casuals.
It's like kids. It's kids, casuals. It's true. Like
I feel like Curry has way more kid fans than LeBron.
Yeah, but they're not calling
Curry the GOAT
because kids are stupid and they can't think. So they sit there and go by what they're being told. Like, because you ever hear a kid talk about why LeBron's a GOAT? They just regurgitate whatever they say on ESPN.
There aren't many original thoughts about why he's the GOAT. There's not.
So did somebody do the math? Like, what's the average? How many seasons has he been?
21, I believe.
So have that. Let me see.
That's a lot. Like longevity. Like, I mean, nobody's up here saying LeBron ain't great. Yes. Like, you know what I mean? We're not saying.
Yeah.
And he's going to win the argument on longevity.
I don't think that 40,000 points makes him the GOAT. I think that if you already thought he was the GOAT, then you're gonna further submit it. Like, he got 40,000 points. Like, Audrey told you he's the GOAT.
All
so
the
it's not gonna
be. Like, if they say he's the GOAT, it's usually a stats argument.
Except the stats that matter, though.
Right, exactly. Because everybody else, when they talk about Mike, Kobe, Kareem, like, it's about moments, championships, intangibles. Like, you mentioned all the things, but LeBron, they don't really do that. And you always notice, like, they always gotta tear somebody else down to prop LeBron up. Like, if you to go, like, you never really hear that argument from other people. Anybody that says Michael Jordan, they don't ever say, like, well, LeBron didn't do this. Like, they just say Mike as, like, Mike did this. Kobe did this. Kareem did this.
But LeBron and Curry got the same 3-point shooting percentage right now.
They absolutely do.
Which is stupid. You know why Steph shoots 12 a game. LeBron shoots like 7. Like, it's like you see how stupid like
stats are misleading, man. They're misleading.
Super misleading.
I'm not saying I don't agree with some stats, but again, a difficulty of shots. Like, he shoots better from 3-point than Kobe did. Would you ever think that Kobe is a worse shooter than LeBron fucking James? No. But when you get 10 feet of space and you shoot them at very strategic times, you may have better percentage. I'm not saying you can't outshoot them over a career potentially, but in that moment, do I want him or do I want Kobe? I'm taking Kobe.
Right.
You're
guarding Kobe
also,
and LeBron totally different.
So they're also the game is different. So like I would expect LeBron to shoot more threes in the league where everybody shoots threes, where people aren't playing real defense, where they're switching everything. If you go under a screen and switch on a screen as a shooter, I'm shooting it, right? Like the game is just different. So it's very hard to look at stats alone and calculate for the differences in like what's popular now. People are scoring 200 points a game.
Right. Speaking of that, like stats backfire. Like I heard Draymond give the explanation why they didn't guard Jaylen Brown the other day when they lost by 50-something points. And he's like, well, he shoots 34% from three. So,
but
he's like, we just gonna leave him wide open.
Yeah, like it's a dude making shots.
So after 25 in a row, you're just like, fuck it.
Right. He said, well, we wanted him to just keep shooting.
He's
not missing. So
it made no sense. It made no sense whatsoever.
Every NBA player makes a shot wide open when they're in the gym. I've never seen an NBA player miss in the gym consecutively.
Listen, coaching in college, we sit there like, they're college players. If you leave them wide open, they can make a three. Like these are pro. You're paying him almost $300 million. He could make a wide open shot.
Highest paid guy in the league. That's the highest paid guy in the league.
And you're gonna just leave him like, we're just gonna make you like, hey.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me either. People lack context when it comes to stats. You could look at numbers all you want, but like when it comes to sports, you have to like have that context. And like a lot of times these stats that people be screaming out there.
It's also the eye test too. Context. It's like you got to be in the moment and see what's going on at the time. I feel like that's something that's so sorely missed. I think that's what a lot of people miss in the GOAT debate. They talk about LeBron versus Jordan. When you there at the moment, it's different. That's why I think most people that still think Jordan's the best were like the ones that saw him. They're like, nah. In that moment, just seeing these things and having that eye test go for you. No.
Right. Same with Kobe.
Can't. But that's why those guys, you talk about like what players think. A lot of players have Kobe ahead of LeBron. They're like, how did it go to a point where like the guy that most closely emulated the greatest player of all time is not second? Why does he get skipped in that discussion in favor of LeBron? A lot of players don't have it like that.
So this is exactly why I don't like GOAT conversations, because the league has changed so much over the years. Like you cannot, like it's like, oh, he's literally the greatest. And it's like, but can this player play across the entire across the league, like decade per decade? Like you just can't, there's not one player in the league that has ever played that you can take out and be like, oh yeah, he can play back in the 60s.
I disagree slightly. I think the greatest of the greatest are very much interchangeable. I think
any era.
I think as you change though, and this is what I've always said about this debate, you cannot take a guy from the 60s, drop him in 2000 and say, oh, all of the advancements of modern science education, you can't have that shit. You're going to have what you had in the 60s. That don't work. Right. Just like you can't take LeBron. Just like you can't take LeBron from 2024 and be like, all of the shit that you've learned and all the doctors and medicine and things you learned, you're going to take all that shit back with you, and no one else has it. That don't work either.
Nobody puts
lose
LeBron
it or gain it based on where you go, and it's about who you are. And you got that dog in you, we gonna see in each era if you do. Kobe, Jordan, it does, because you can't take you're a product of your environment. If your environment is y'all don't know science, goddammit, you're gonna do the best you can without no science. When you got some science, you're gonna do what you can with some science. No, I'm not.
You just said product of your environment.
But I'm saying is the person is the person. The drive, the ability, the natural gift, the natural skill is who you are. It's gonna manifest slightly differently based on the era, but who you are is who you are. You can't take it. You can't take ownership of everything that happened in the fucking 10 years you fucking played. You're not a goddamn doctor. You're not a nutritionist. You're not a sleep specialist. You can't take all that shit with you.
He's basically
you learned it when you was playing. So you're going to learn what you learned at 60 when you was playing. That's all I'm saying.
Right. You can't put LeBron in the 60s, and they won't put him in Chuck Taylors and smoking cigarettes at the free throw line.
LeBron can't go back to the 60s and have his shoes on. No, nigga, they wore. You can't have none of that shit. You don't have Twitter back then. You don't have newspapers, my guy. landline phones. Like, this what's gonna be for you.
So are you attributing like the advancements of like technology and medicine and all of these things, all like the growth of the league, it's like, what percentage of all of that you're saying comes with the advancement is versus, like, what is that versus the advancement of the actual players, like the actual game and what they're playing?
It's hard to give a percentage to it, but like I think players are generally maybe better now. I think the general like physicality of the game in terms of like not physicality, but like their abilities physically are largely shifted by I think medicine and nutrition, because you look at it with the regular society, life expectancy has increased. We learn more. We learn, like, there was a time that they didn't know that cigarettes were that bad for you. Imagine that shit. There's a time they're just like, yeah, smoke a pack, eat a whole steak, soak the butter,
played 21 years. When LeBron played 21 years in the 60s when they could smoke in the stands. Like, it's a cloud of smoke. Like, it's a cloud of smoke in the arena.
It's a huge factor. I'm not saying that good players aren't good, but like, or current players aren't good, but dude, like, think of how society has changed. Think outside of ball, how much has changed from the 60s to 2010s, 2020s. There's a lot of shit that's changed in that time. I mean, shit. In the 60s, we was fighting the vote. We wasn't even treated like regular people. We was sitting getting dog shit on us. I'm sure some of them dogs took out some great ball players. They didn't get to go play ball. They had to go run for their life. It's different shit they was dealing with. So, like, I'm with you on the GOAT debate overall, because I think it's hard to attribute that. That's why I'm more of a fan of GOAT, like, of the eras. Best of their era. Greatest of their era, I like better, because to me, that's like, okay, you're more comparing apples to apples in that case. However, there's some guys like Jordan transcended so much shit. That's why he's the GOAT. He embodied competition. He embodied basketball. LeBron James will never fucking be that, because he can't beat that.
I think that Jordan absolutely is great.
You about to
and
I you traded real.
Yeah, what you about to say? What you trying to say?
You traded real close to get
uncertain.
Only because, listen, okay, my thing is I think that Jordan pushed the game forward and made it what it is today. I think that he absolutely did transcend eras. However, I think that LeBron does the same.
Ow.
Like, I don't think he does it the same way that Jordan does.
We won't know, though. We won't know until he retires, and then we'll see.
How? Like, what has LeBron changed culture-wise?
Super team?
You think players that have shifted culture, you think, okay, Mike, clearly. Iverson, clearly. For
sure.
Steph Curry, clearly.
LeBron changed one thing.
You just made me rethink my argument.
LeBron did one thing. He created and ushered in a new player empowerment movement. Where guys hold teams hostage, make the decision that they want to have made, force their way out of places. He's made that
striving for greatness. That's his motto. Is like striving for greatness. The branding.
Yeah. Just like his many lies. Like, that's the first thing he came up with, right?
Striving for greatness.
Nobody's heard striving for greatness.
I was the first guy to want to strive for greatness.
I was the first one.
The first
guy. Now you got the kids saying strive for greatness. So
I don't know no kids that say
started it.
Yeah, I guess. Kids that say that.
I just feel like that's all. I just feel like that's all he's really done. Like, I mean, guys still like, you know what's funny? Ask a 16-year-old right now who the GOAT is. He may say LeBron. Ask a 16-year-old what sneakers he gonna wear. He gonna say Jordan. Now explain that shit to me. If you the motherfucking guy, and you the GOAT, and you the motherfucking dude, why don't I wear your busted ass sneakers?
Like, I've been around, as many kids I'm around, they picking several sneakers before they pick up a LeBron.
I'm not looking for no LeBron reprints. I'm not looking for no LeBron recolors.
LeBron not even on the list.
He's definitely not.
And it's still, and I asked these kids, yo, who would you? Yeah, they may start some Yeezys, some Nikes, all that, whatever. Jordans are still a premium choice.
Yeah.
And these kids ain't never seen real Mike. ever. And they're like, Jordans. That's to me the Jordan mystique. Not to mention grown men talk about meeting him and say like he had an aura. Grown men are on record saying he has an aura when you meet him. Like there's levels to this shit. There's levels to this shit. And LeBron is not that level. He's just not quite that high. I'm sorry, he's not.
I mean, the sneaker argument is valid, but also like it's just really, really difficult to compete with the fact that Nike did a hell of a job. Like, I mean, Jordan in general and like Nike did an amazing job as far as marketing and how they was just crushing literally every other sneaker brand that was out there. Like there was so many, but like still, it's hard to like surpass that kind of success.
Here's no. Here's the thing though. This is why the history is important. Nike was a fucking startup. Nike was barely doing this shit. They became this shit.
Yeah. With Jordan. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
But Jordan the Jordan brand was not that popular initially.
Took a couple years, but
yeah.
Mike's dominance is what made it.
Him on the court made $1 billion company. Matter of fact, it made $2 because suddenly Jordan on his own, the Jordan brand by itself is $1 billion and Nike's $1 billion. He's a billionaire. There are 3 separate entities that are billionaires or billion grossing companies because of the greatness
of Mike.
I just like I said, maybe I'm an old head in this shit, but I'm like
no, it's
20,000 points is cool. Like when all the assists is cool, but like go.
Right. You can see the shift in LeBron because it's like when they put that stamp on you, you got to be like obviously people weren't as dominant as Mike 6-0, but you still got to be like uphold your end of the bargains. Like I'm getting to the finals, I'm winning the finals. LeBron didn't hold up his end as far as winning championships, and that's when you started seeing narrative shift and a whole bunch of other shit that ain't got nothing to do with winning. Started making it about stats. Started making it about the stuff he does off the court. Those type of things. He's a great father, like all that stuff. School, like they started shifting it because he wasn't upholding his end as far as winning and being the face and dominating the league. Remember, they had those Kobe LeBron puppets. Guess who didn't make it there? They was all anticipating Kobe LeBron in the finals. Kobe got there.
He wasn't there.
Kobe won. LeBron lost to Dwight Howard.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, though, because, like, what would Jordan be if we had social media? What would Jordan be if everybody's following Jordan around when he's doing all those weird bets with everybody? Like, I don't know what the perception would be, so that's why you can't really compare. Like, we have a whole bunch of people that we would probably consider, like, the mystique of LeBron doesn't exist because he gets to get on TV and lie to us every day about what he does.
Man,
we don't know what Jordan
I think less microphone time for him would probably be better.
Yeah, like maybe he'd be more mystical and people will probably rock with him more.
Instead of the lies.
His lies be just like
what do you like about the Malcolm X book? He's a great man.
Yeah. What was the one a couple weeks ago? Yeah, it was a pass. Like we could clearly see you did not catch this ball.
It was the best tight ends list. I was straight off of ESPN. It's like, like you read it. Like
or what's the other one? They all been wanting me to fail since I got into the league. Everybody's wanting me to fail.
No one wanted him to fail.
Everybody wanted him to be the guy from the beginning.
Nobody wanted him to fail.
Like, Darius Miles might have been the only one. Like
it's like think about this. Like as hot as like Caitlin Clark is right now in basketball, like LeBron was even bigger than that. Like nobody. Can you say anybody wants Caitlin Clark to fail? No. And LeBron was bigger than that.
Maybe her opponents.
Right.
Yeah.
But LeBron had the same type of
All-American, a McDonald's All-American.
Bigger hype coming in. Like we can't wait to see what he does in the league.
They're calling you the next Jordan. They're calling you a king. You have not played a game. Don't lie.
A king.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't lie like that. That's just corny.
Right. Maybe he needs that for his motivation, but I think the main reason why he's even in the league is because he wants to play with his kid. I mean,
his son is like
we're not
Ronnie's not ready yet.
We're not even going. You know what we're not going to do is talk about this nigga kid because I'm gonna tell you right now, that shit may be the most egregious abuse of his power to date. The fact that he's gonna make this kid a top 15 pick, and I hope he can ball, but when he can't. What's going to happen when he go into a league team for 3 or 4 years is up for that contract? What's going to happen to his career? Because I don't know if he can ball like that. I just don't know. And that's going to be
and what's disturbing about that, because Rich Paul said the other day, we're not going to gauge it on where he would go in the draft as far as number. We're going to gauge it on team interest if we go into the draft. Like, you can clearly see he's not ready for the NBA.
No,
and you're trying to push him because your daddy wants this idea of I'm doing. Let me add something else that nobody else did.
Yeah,
so I can try to add to my GOAT argument, and it's like that's the type of stuff that people don't like because like it just feels inauthentic. Like it ain't like the Griffeys where his dad was just playing that long, and King Griffey was that dude. Right, he was that dude. Like King Griffey, like his son's the prodigy. That's like right. So it's like
Bronny averages like 5 points.
You got to stop listening to Meek Mill in the locker room. That's all that is.